Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. My name is Julian and this is the weekend episode for week 2 of the fantasy hockey season. Basically what we do in this episode is we go through the weekend schedule, what the days look like, then we go ahead and suggest players to add for each day combination. For example, Friday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and then Saturday, Sunday. There's players that play on both those nights for all 3 of those combinations this week. So basically, based on which days you can fit someone in your lineup, you will be taking my suggestions for those specific days. There are timestamps down below for which days you want to look at specifically. And then after that, we're going to look at some defense that you can stream, some goalies that you can stream for Sunday, and then some players that you can pick up for categories leagues specifically. We're going to be taking a look at 4 different categories: shots on goal, blocks, hits, and then face-off wins, players that you can add to win those categories specifically. Before we get started though, guys, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. I know this is cliche, but more than 50% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I'm trying to hit 5,000 subs this year, so every sub really would help a lot. Thanks so much, guys, and let's jump right into the video now. And we'll start with the schedule for this weekend. And as you can see here on the screen, on Friday there are only 3 games, on Saturday there are 13, and on Sunday there are 5 games. So in all likelihood, if your lineup is going to be full one of the 3 nights, it's probably going to be Saturday. I still included players to pick up for Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, Saturday in this video, just in case you do have some room in your lineup and you want to work with that. So let's take a look at teams that play both Friday and Saturday, and there are only 2 teams that play both those days, and those teams are Colorado and Tampa Bay. So the number 1 player to stream, in my opinion, for those 2 days is Alex Killorn. Gets time on the second line in Tampa Bay, as well as the top power play. The next best streamer, in my opinion, is Nick Paul, who also gets time on that second line in Tampa Bay with Killorn and Stamkos. Doesn't get top power play time, but still does see PP2 time. And that's why I have him ranked a little bit ahead of Brandon Hagel, who does see actually top line time with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, but doesn't really see any power play time. Then I have Ross Colton, who plays on the third line in Tampa Bay, but actually has been producing so far, and also gives you a nice floor of hits every single night. Then I have Newhook and Rodriguez of the Colorado Avalanche, and as long as Landeskog is out of the lineup, these guys are going to be playing on their second line. As of yet, they have not really produced or done anything, but the fact that they are skating on the second line means at some point they're going to have to start producing. And playing with Nichushkin is definitely not a bad place to do so. I think Newhook and Rodriguez definitely could put up some points this weekend. Then I have Corey Perry of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who plays on the third line with Nemeskov and Colton. It's not a terrible deployment, and so far he hasn't done too bad. So if you're in a really deep league and you really need someone to stream for those 2 days, Perry's not the worst option in the world. And also Nemesnikov is not the worst option in the world either on that line. Now for the most important part of the video, your streamers for Friday and Sunday. They're super not busy nights, so you definitely have room in your lineup. So you're probably looking to add someone to help make sure you win this week. Now, there are 4 teams that play both Friday and Sunday. If you do want to add someone that plays both those days, the teams that you want to add players from are Chicago, Detroit, Florida, and Seattle. Now, the number 1 guy I would go after if he is available in your league is Matty Beniers, only 52% rostered and has been unbelievable to start the year. Top line, top power play. He's looking really good, guys. Definitely the number 1 ad for me. Then I would go with Carter Verhaeghe. I'm recording this before the Wednesday night game, so I don't know if he's scored a point in that game or not, but he is getting top line deployment with Barkov and Sam Reinhart, and as long as he's getting that deployment, guys, he's someone that I'm definitely looking at pretty highly, because that's a very good place to be. Then I have Jakub Vrana. If he's healthy by the time this video goes out, go ahead and grab him. He's getting second line time with Kopp and with David Perron, definitely a great place to be. Then I have Anton Lundell, who's playing third line with Colin White and Eetu Luostarinen. It's not too bad either, and Lundell is very talented in his own right, so definitely someone that I like to stream for this weekend. And Andrew Kopp, who I already mentioned, plays with Vrana and with David Perron, and so far through 2 games has already got a couple points, so definitely not too bad of a stream there. Then I have Andre Burakovsky and Oliver Bjorkstrand. They're both skating on the second line together with Alex Wenberg, and that's a pretty decent deployment. They've both been producing so far this season. They're both getting a decent amount of power play time, and Bjorkstrand's shooting the puck a lot. Both very good ads for this weekend. Then Jaden Schwartz and Jared McCann. Schwartz is actually now skating on the left wing alongside Matty Beniers, so I kind of like that. And McCann, while he's not skating alongside Matty Beniers, he is skating alongside Yanni Gourde and Carson Kuhlman. Not the best deployment, I know, but he is talented and is getting enough power play time to merit streaming for this weekend. Then I have Dominic Kubalik, who, because Bertuzzi is out for a while, he's now skating with Larkin and with Lucas Raymond. He's in a pretty good place to put up some points, only 4% rostered, available probably in your league. Then Jonathan Toews, who so far through 3 games has 2 goals. Not too bad of a start for Jonathan Toews. Also really great if you need face-off wins. Then I have Brandon Tanev of the Seattle Kraken, and he's definitely someone who I like if you have hits in your league. He's one of the guys who's going to get you the most hits in the league. Absolutely fantastic for that. If you don't have hits in your league, though, I definitely would drop him quite a few spots. Then I have Max Domi playing on the top line and top power play in Chicago with Patrick Kane, and as long as he sticks there, definitely has some value. Then we got Jordan Eberle, who's actually playing on the right wing with Matty Beniers and Jaden Schwartz. Then I'm looking at Colin White, who, despite not having a crazy amount of ice time, has 4 points through 3 games playing with Lundell and Luostarinen, and also gets a little bit of PP2 time. Then I have Rudolph Balcers, who plays on the second line with Bennett and Kachuk. That's a pretty good place to be as well. Then I have Andres Athanasiou, who plays on the top line with Domi and Kane in Chicago. Then Gordon Wenberg in Seattle. Wenberg plays with Burakovsky and with Bjorkstrand. That's actually a pretty good place to be. Like him a little bit better than Gord, who's playing with McCann and Kuhlman. Then I have Michael Rasmussen and Soderblom, who have produced a little bit so far this season, playing on the third line in Detroit. And then Eetu Luostarinen, who I already mentioned, plays with Colin White and with Anton Lundell on the third line in Florida. Now, if you're watching this a little bit later in the week, or your opponent somehow caught up to you after Friday night and you're like, oh my god, I need someone to stream for Saturday and Sunday, well, the 4 teams that play both Saturday and Sunday are Columbus, the Islanders, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the San Jose Sharks. Number 1 guy that I would stream from those teams, if he is available, is Matthew Barzal. Well, Barry Trotz is a little bit more free to roam and may be able to put up some offensive numbers that we saw a few years back. Then I have Travis Konecny, who has 3 goals and 4 points through 3 games. Now, while it's not going to keep up, as long as he's hot, definitely worth a streamer here. Then Boone Jenner is someone who I've been repping all off season. He's definitely, so far, looked pretty good playing on the top line with Johnny Gaudreau. That's why I got him as his number 3 best streamer. Tomas Hertl, who's pretty ice cold, not going to lie, but he is still playing on the top line with Timo Meier, and that's why he's still a pretty decent streamer. Brock Nelson is someone who's playing on the top line of the Islanders with Beauvillier and Anders Lee. Then we have Kevin Hayes of the Philadelphia Flyers playing on their top line, top power play. Logan Couture playing on the second line in San Jose. Then we have Cam Atkinson. This is where I would rank him if he's actually healthy in time for this weekend. Then I have Morgan Frost, who's playing on the second line in Philadelphia with Allison and Scott Lawton. Then I have James Van Riemsdyk, who has literally gotten a point in every game he's played so far. While he only plays on the third line, plays on the top power play, and as long as he stays hot, he's definitely someone that I like for this weekend. Then I have Gustav Nyquist, who's playing on the top line with Gaudreau and with Jenner, and just because of that deployment, he is here on this list. I have Anders Lee, who plays top line with Brock Nelson in New York, also gets top power play time. Oliver Wahlstrom is someone who I really like. He has a deadly shot, and I think he's worth being around here despite his low playing time. Then I have Kyle Palmieri, and I'm putting him here because he's top power play and also plays on a line with Barzal. And that's why the opportunities are there for Palmieri. That's why I got him here. Then I have Scott Lawton, who's playing on the second line with Morgan Frost. And so far, Scott Lawton has been producing. Anthony Beauvillier playing on the top line with Lee and Nelson. And that's why I got him here. Then I have Jean-Gabriel Pajot playing on the third line with Wahlstrom. Definitely someone who could pop in a point or 2. Cole Cylinder is someone who is playing on the top power play in Columbus. Hasn't done too much so far, but definitely someone that could potentially put up some points. And then Luke Cunnin and Kevin Labanc of the San Jose Sharks. Cunnin plays top line with Meier and with Hertl, and then Labanc plays on the second line with Couture. Neither of them I'm super high on, but if there's nobody better on this list that's available, there's someone that you can consider. If you want to stream a defenseman, the best guy to stream is Brandon Montour, assuming that he is healthy by this weekend, because Ekblad is out, guys, which means Montour is going to be manning that top power play all by himself, and that gives him a lot of value. If he is not back in time for this weekend, though, Gustav Forsling is going to be the guy manning that top power play, which makes him quite valuable. And even when Montour comes back, I still think Forsling is at least a really good streamer for this weekend, if not a lot longer. Then I have Radko Gudas, who I only stream if you're in a league that counts hits. But he hits so much, guys, that if you're in a points league that has hits, you're getting a lot of points just from that. And then I have Ryan Pulock of the Islanders, who's not necessarily going to put up a whole lot of points, but the peripherals are plenty, and so far, he's done done pretty well. Then I have Justin Schultz, who's playing top power play in Seattle, and so far has managed to put up some points. Samuel Girard is someone who I'm not super high on, but is playing PP2 in Colorado, and so far, right now, is putting up points, so streaming him right now while he's hot is not a terrible idea. Then I have Mario Ferraro, who's someone who could put up points as well as blocked shots and hits. That's why I got him here. And then Ben Sherratt and Chernak are not guys I'm super high on. Sherratt's someone who puts up some peripherals, and Chernak's someone who I'd only stream if you have hits in your league. If you need a goalie to stream for this weekend, the number one option is Varlamov. He should get the second of 2 back-to-back starts playing against Florida. A little bit of a tough matchup, but I think he'll be all right. Philip Grubauer should get the start, either him or Martin Jones against Chicago on Sunday, which is pretty solid. Felix Sandstrom's someone that I like. He's probably going to get the second half of that back-to-back against San Jose on Sunday. Peter Mrazek is playing against Seattle. Definitely probably will start that one. And then either Reimer or Kakkonen is going to get the start against Philadelphia. And then Tarasov may or may not get that second half of the back-to-back. You'll have to see who ends up playing the night before. It's against the Rangers, though, so it's a pretty tough matchup. Now the categories league section of this video, and if you need to catch up on shots on goal or make sure you maintain your league in that category, the number one guy to add is Evan Rodriguez, who last year shot about 3 times per game. Cam Atkinson, if he is healthy, shot 2.9 times per game last year. Konechny, 2.8. Bjorkstrand, 2.7. Boone Jenner, 2.7. Schwartz and McCann, also 2.7. Then Kevin Hayes, 2.6. Andreas Athanasiou, 2.5. If you need someone for block shots, number one guy to add is Connor Murphy, who blocked an average of 2.6 shots per game last year and probably will block even more this year because Chicago is even worse of a team. Mario Ferraro, 2.4. Romanov, 1.8 only, but this year he's been blocking a lot of shots. That's why I have him at number 3 on this list. Pullock, 2.3. Provorov, 2.2. Andrew Peak, 2.1. And then Scott Mayfield at 1.8. If you need hits, the number one guy to grab is obviously Radko Gudas, who last year hit an average of 4.6 times per game, which is absolutely insane. The next best guy to grab would be Cal Clutterbuck, who hit 3.9 times per game. Reese Johnson, 3.8. Matt Martin, 3.3. Tanev, 3.3. Kyra, 3.3. Delorier, 3.2. And Alexander Romanov at 2.9 times per game. If you need face-off wins, the number one guy to grab is Jonathan Taves. 11.1 face-off wins per game last year, which is absolutely fantastic. Boone Jenner, 10.9 face-off wins per game. Pajot, 9.7. Hurdle, 9.4. Corrali, 8.1. Couture, 8.1. Casey Cizikas, 7.2. And Alexander Wenberg, 6.9. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do want to take your subscription to the next level, you can follow me on Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.